Hello, and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. Today we're going to react to a Kayle gameplay on the Chinese server. Kayle in the Baron lane against Darius. And many of you don't know that Kayle in the early game on level 1 is actually not that weak. She has an auto attack reset which makes her stronger than other champions, but at the same time suffers from very low base stats. When it comes to laning in general, the champion needs to be rather passive outside of the level 1 power spike by just poking with the third ability as well until level 5. The moment you're level 5 and have acquired boots where you can just space the enemy, you can finally start doing chip damage to the enemy champion, and here you will see that he'll always try to use his third ability to simply poke the enemy. On top of this, he's trying to hold the wave in front of his tower so the Darius who wants the most space in the laning phase cannot run him down. So you will only see him last hit these minions, and every single time the Darius goes too close, he will probably walk up, if he doesn't have to go for a minion, to try and dish out some damage to the Darius. He will also probably not use his second ability outside of when he has to space, because he doesn't want to lose too much mana. Another thing he also does, or tries to do, is getting closer to the Darius when he uses his first ability to take less damage and not get a bleeding stack. And again, you see he is not messing up the wave. He sees that the wave is a slow push into him, so he stays. He could have recalled, but the Lee Sin is still hovering for him, so potentially the Lee Sin can now get the Kayle ahead by granting him a free kill. But the question is, does the Lee Sin want this? The Lee Sin realizes this, turns around, he lets himself get hooked, and now the Lee Sin comes around the corner and goes in, kicks him into the face, and that should be a free pickup for the kill. Sadly, a wasted flash, and now they have to crash the wave into the tower. They have to crash the next wave into the tower. He is not allowed to recall. Now, he's able to get a big power spike with boots. And with boots in his inventory, he's finally able to space the Darius even better. The Darius also used Ghost and Flash, so the enemy Darius doesn't really have kill pressure. Another hidden gem about the gameplay into a Darius as a Kayle, if you can, you really have to wait until the ult animation from Darius comes in to use your ultimate. Otherwise, you just die. Oh, the Lee Sin is just playing very high temp. Oh, he flashed into the hook. It's a disaster, but he still kills. And the Fresh gets the shutdown. And you see, with the boots, it's a lot easier to space the Darius. And with the level 5, he finally goes forward with the bullying. And since the Darius used his hook, it's now a free gamer move for him. He could have even just ran him down because the Darius doesn't have any chance anymore because of all the mistakes the Darius did. Or rather, the Kayle outplaying him. All the time the Lee Sin invested into the Kayle has now paid off. The Kayle is very much ahead, but the Kayle is still a very fragile champion. If she makes a single mistake against the Darius, it's probably immediate death. She maybe gets one jail free card with the ultimate ability. He also does the ultimate early to just take less damage from the full combo of the Echo, and now he'll just kite away, deal some damage to the Echo, maybe forcing the ultimate, but he doesn't want to stay too long, and now the Twisted Fate comes around the corner. He just goes for a quick kill or attempts to get the kill on the Echo, or at least force the ultimate, but the Ignite isn't enough to pull it off. I believe it would have been better to just not use the Ignite and just accept death here. Or alternatively, if you just ran from the beginning without trading, you could have maybe even lived. But yeah. Now the Darius has a window again, where the Kayle is substantially weaker. If the Kayle gets hooked, she can actually die. The Lee Sin wanted to kick, and the Echo, oh, did you see the little trick the Echo just did? The Echo went back to base and ulted back to deal damage to the Lee Sin, but the Darius was not aware of the play. You would rarely see any of these plays on any other server because most of the people wouldn't even be aware that it's number 1 possible, or they just don't know what their champions do. It's just sadly the truth. There are better champions to punish Kayle, yes, because Darius is still a melee champion, but the Kayle played it very well, or the Darius played it very bad. Like, you can always like you can always question like which side it is. Like the Kayle is playing a certain rule set, right? If the Kayle doesn't get hooked, the Kayle lives. If the Kayle gets hooked, she dies. So the Darius just has to hook the Kayle and then he wins. If he takes too much damage while attempting to do so, the Kayle will automatically win. So the Kayle is playing within a set rule set, like a very fixated rule set that if she ever makes a mistake, instantly dies, and the Darius just has to find one opportunity to go past this. And if the Darius succeeds once, the Kayle would just be ran over, and the Kayle could at every point still die. Like, you see how much damage the Darius dealt, and now he doesn't have ult, so it gets very close, and luckily the Kraken Slayer bonus damage just takes care of the Darius. We are just 3/4 of a level away from hitting level 10, where Kayle's third ability turns into a tactical nuke. But as you've seen, like the Lee Sin invested a lot of time into the Kayle. So that is something we should not underestimate. Now the Darius is ghosting. He just instantly flashes as he realizes that he gets too close. The Twisted Fate makes his appearance. That could be a trade. Maybe he's lucky enough to get a trade. The tower shot doesn't go through anymore. He buys teleport to deny the enemy gold, and it's not even the bounty. He really doesn't want the Darius to gain any footing in the game. Oh, and by the way, in case you didn't notice, he started with a ruby crystal for a better laning phase. The question is, was it a genuine mistake? Because obviously it will make his boots delayed, but it will grant him a lot of extra tankiness, which will allow him to brawl the Darius on level 1. Like something that might have been not seen. And now we are slowly reaching the point where Kayle becomes a really strong champion. The more AP you gain, the more movement speed your second ability will grant you. And with this, it's very difficult to catch you. So when the Kayle goes towards her second and third item spike with the crown of the Shattered Queen, it becomes borderline impossible to just get anything done. Because the Kayle will kill you so much faster than you will kill the Kayle. And now the Draven just hit her with a big crit, flashes after the Kayle, collects the gold, cash in, and some free money. It's just very interesting to see, in general, how much different overall games are being played. Like, for example, the Lee Sin paid close attention to the wave, even saw that the wave was in a good spot earlier, and then punished the Darius by overextending, while the Kayle was managing the wave really well. And the issue is, like, if you take a look at the games I've played, nobody really gave a single flying, like a single flying, and it's, yeah. Obviously, you can always argue it's early season, but it's literally in every elo. People really, like, the biggest issue in the European server is you get to high elo, you play against Master every single game, and it's really mind-numbing. So it's very refreshing to see this. And since Kayle is a hyper-scaling jungle, she's also taking the jungle camp since she sees the Lee Sin is on the other side of the map, so she resets his camps for him, while also gaining extra gold while doing so. The Lee Sin is on the other side of the map, takes enemy jungle camps, takes waves while she's on the other side of the map, and just gets even more. It's all about snowballing as much as possible. Yeah, I have a little button I can press to just censor things. So. And as you see from a lovely top laner, it's the pushing angle. And if anyone comes, she still has ultimate, and it's very dangerous for the enemy to make a single mistake. If you want to, I can also play Kayle next time. And she used the ruby crystal to then later turn it into a rift maker. Is 80 Kayle still playable? Yes, I think her spike is earlier, but there's not really a point of doing so because games naturally extend so long anyway. Oh, he just fail flashed, and now it's a beautiful game. He even ults early as he gets stunned by the Twisted Fate, and his team just cleans up the entirety of the mess, and now it's a free dragon, free push, free everything angle. You'll probably see the Kayle instantly run to the bot wave. Yep, there she goes, because it's free money. His team, or her team, is taking down the dragon. We are closing in on getting even more money, even more items. Quick little yoink, even 80 extra gold into the pocket for the Kayle. The Kayle is now walking after the Lee Sin, and we're just going down side lane. Maybe the Darius makes a mistake here. The enemy can't realistically go for the Nasher, and we could go for a free dive here if he wanted to. The Lee Sin could have kicked him into the face, and we see, but why is the Twisted Fate doing this? He saw all of the people on the map. This is turning into something really crazy. Fresh is now isolated by the beautiful hook of the Blitzcrank. Everyone is flashing, everything is chaos, and it's the perfect time for the Kayle to finally find some moments to hit them with the third ability, which barely costs any mana, by the way. I think it's 1 or 0 even. Interesting purchase going for Twin Guard here. Really don't know what the Twin Guard... It grants her like hybrid resistances, yes, but what is the specific purpose of this item right here compared to more damage? Like, I'd really love to see some feedback on, for example, like a resident Kayle player, on giving me a rundown of why you would want this at this point. I really need to test this. Like, I know Kayle will work well on the European server, in jungle at least, but yeah. Using a good frontline, the Kayle is stacking up her passive, and now she's finally unleashed, and you see the big Kraken hits coming around the corner, right? Like the 167 plus the Riftmaker, it's so much true damage that you can just easily lose track of. Oh, the sadness, not enough range. Feels bad, man. Twisted Fate coming in with the ultimate, spotting what they're doing. The Blitzcrank is hovering the top right corner. Oh, the Twisted Fate comes in, uses the stun card. There's no threat yet, so we don't press the ultimate. We just group back up. We just probably use... Yep, perfect. Like, the Twisted Fate is completely isolated, he can't even help, and the Lee Sin just cleans up so easily. The Kayle instantly ults the Lee Sin to keep him safe. A beautiful kick outside. The Echo just flashes out of the range of the Lee Sin. Q reactivation. Probably because of defense and survivability, but the thing is, like, if the Kayle is touched by anything, she presses ult anyway, right? So what is the proper reasoning of this item over more AP? Oh, the Fresh tried to flash in the hook, but he just wasn't accurate enough. What a poor guy. Oh, -1, very important. 13 seconds until the ultimate comes up again. He flashes away just in case something happens to her. She grows in size again with the lovely Twin Guard. And the Lee Sin is just taking over on the other half of the map. And with the power of Kayle's second ability and all the AP, she's just so fast. And they can't one-tap her because of the power of the ultimate ability. CC after CC is hitting them. The enemy just can't deal with her. The power is just too much, and then she just dies. Like, it took them so much to kill her. So I'm really curious how good Twin Guard on this item slot really is. The thing is, you don't have any base health. So the real question is it really that good? I really have big trouble believing it. I think if you just get Crown, it's a better purchase at this point. And that concludes this video. Like, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out WildRift China, very important, they upload the best stuff ever, and we'll see each other in the next video.